Time flies when you're having fun.
Can I have those in the folders when you're done?
Oh, sorry.
Did you look at them?
No, I hadn't.
All right. Chop, chop.
Good evening and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting on Monday, January 5th, 2026. We'll call the meeting to order at 6:04. Audrey, could I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Selectman Chair, Mr. Coy.
Here.
Select Vice Chair, Mr. DeRoche.
Here.
Selectman, Mr. Giffen.
Here.
Selectwoman, Ms. Costa.
Yes. Here.
Selectman, Mr. Shulman.
Here.
All right. If we can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. And we're here for public comment. Looks like you're ready for the hockey rink.
All the time. Skating as often as I can.
Good.
Right weather for it.
What's that?
You got the right weather for it.
And the right friends that have a rink that I help with. So I need exercise, as you can clearly tell. Brian Lebrecq, 174 Main Street. So I've submitted many RTKs. Of the 20 plus I've submitted, I've received responses to 3. It's peculiar to me that I'm the only one on the list that has not received responses, probably by design. Many of the questions I asked for are standard reports that you all receive every month. Apparently that's too difficult to send. They are pre-prepared reports taking the advice of the town attorney. I requested reports that exist, and those reports that exist can't even be provided. 7 of my RTKs were also requested by the budget committee, and all 7 of those requests have not been answered either. So things that the budget committee is asking for, which mirrored what I asked for, have been ignored as well. Basically, the town's in violation of state law. You may be ignoring that state law because there isn't anybody to enforce it at the state level at this point in time. You probably know that, and that's why you don't really care about these right to know requests. They're not options, and I'm only asking them to provide information to a budget committee that is useless at this point. 10-year-olds could do a better job in that committee, both at Timberlane and here. Nothing is happening. No questions are being asked. It's a waste of time. It's a complete waste of time, and it's a bastardization of the process of governance. Regarding staffing, I don't know, it's just a note. Seems like people retire and then they come back. You know, I think that's a standard problem in government in the U.S. in general. People hit retirement age, they leave, and then they come back to collect their retirement and also get paid a wage as well. I think when people retire, we should let them retire and not allow them back in. At that point, people may make the decision to wait a little bit to retire as opposed to double dipping under public funds. 3, stop using CIP for large equipment replacement. It's really ridiculous. You're asking retirees now to pay for a fire truck 20 years from now when they're dead. So you're saddling them with taxes currently for equipment that they're not going to get any use of because they probably won't be around anymore. And saving $1 million, $2 million, and saddling the taxpayers now for that as opposed to a bond later when it's necessary, if approved by the people, is a more appropriate use of funds. And I'm not a debt guy. I don't like debt. I don't borrow money. I don't utilize banks, but I'm not a town. And a town can't operate like that. You know, people that are living here now that may not live here 3 years from now are paying for things that are needed 5, 7, 10 years out. How is that fair? It's not. We have a pile of police officers fully staffed. We're adding more. We've added a bunch of them. They're doing a great job, not saying anything negative to the police department. They're stopping people. They're doing traffic patrols as part of their regular daily lives. That's all that we need. We don't need dedicated traffic enforcement. That's, again, a bastardization of this board to throw a stupid question in front of the public, you know, to say, oh, well, you know, you want something, you're going to have to pay extra for it. No, we have police officers to enforce the laws. They're doing their jobs. All we need them to do is refocus on certain areas at certain times of the day to slow traffic down, like on Main Street or other roads. By the way, I don't think traffic on Main Street is that great. Half the time I can walk down the middle of Main Street in the middle of the day and not get hit by a car. There's a few times of the day where it's bad, but it's not bad. It's not that bad. Our police and fire department like to highlight stats, which is fine. No issue with it. Unfortunately, when it comes to asking questions about costs, they want to sweep it under the rug. So instead of just highlighting the stats, let's also talk about the costs to provide those stats. And let's stop ignoring those questions. I'd like to know what type of RFPs are being released for the purchase of, say, cruisers or other vehicles. Are they competitively bid? A cruiser is a commodity. It can be purchased from anywhere in the country at this day and age. You may find someone in California that's going to sell it to you cheaper than someone local or a dealer local. So I think that is room for improvement. I don't know if they're bid, but if they're not, they should be. Regarding Tahoes, it's absolutely ridiculous that we're driving luxury vehicles as police cruisers. To say that a Ford Explorer, which is a full-size SUV, maybe it's a three-quarter size SUV compared to a Tahoe, is not enough to carry equipment. That's just ridiculous. It reminds me, though, of when the police department wanted a new police station. I took a tour of their station, and they cited that the Sallyport wouldn't fit the new Explorers because the new Explorers were so large. Now the Explorers are the small cars, apparently. So I'm wondering, maybe we need to build a new police station again to fit the Tahoes or the F-350 crew cabs that are coming next. I don't know where we're going with that, but almost there. Would it really take much for our highway department to weed whack some median strips on 125 in between when the state weed whacks it? We got to stop thinking like, well, that's just the state. If it bothers someone, send the guys out there and weed whack the damn median strip down. How hard is that? It's ridiculous. I've also heard stories of the rec department needing some support from the highway department and the highway department refusing, not my budget. Aren't we one? Why are we playing these games? Do the work. Vehicle to access or adding a vehicle surcharge tax or whatever it is. I don't know who comes up with this garbage. Let's not stop. Maybe another town's doing it. Let's stop copying other towns. We don't need to copy other towns unless it's reducing our budgets. Because there are some lessons we can learn from that.
You get one more minute, Ryan.
All right. That's fine. There was talk in the last selectman meeting of creating a highway department. I don't know. We're trying to build a fiefdom, a kingdom, something. I don't get it. We already have twice as much staff as other towns locally with similar population. We're bloated. We don't need to grow. We need to shrink. And we're facing over $1 million taxing budget increase, in addition to a school department that is out of control, requesting $10 million increase in budget. There is a breaking point. I don't know, maybe at some point people will start showing up similar to me, and maybe we'll find that breaking point. And certainly y'all are seeking that breaking point, because we are not doing the governance that's required and the governance that the taxpayer should be getting efficiently and in a manner that doesn't force people out of town. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right. I'll get to the agenda items. It'll be to discuss the RFPs that we received back and figure out the next steps for the trash and recycling collection. And we do have up on the board, and I know we've had this information for a little bit now, a month or so, to go over ourselves. Kind of get walked through it. I think, hopefully everyone has this with them. Because that's what we have up there, just so you know. All right, Greg, what do we got?
Well, kind of recap for those at home and the like. We are in the midst of a 5-year contract with the current vendor. That contract runs through December 31st of 2026. So within, the budget that we are working on right now, those numbers are solid. This has nothing to do with that. This would be for a renewal of this contract for 5 years, beginning January 1 of 2027. Because we were under the gun 5 years ago in putting this out, we did put out the RFP, worked on it over the summer. It went out in the fall. The responses were due back, I believe, the end of October, beginning of November. So I believe there were 5 or 6 companies that had come to a pre-conference. We received 4 proposals. And so what was done is those proposals were summarized. And of course, you're talking about trying to compare apples, oranges, with pineapple and grapes as well, with the 4 different companies. But in an attempt to at least get the basic costs associated with the contract, this information was put into a proposal matrix that you have in front of you, but it's also on the screen. So you can see that we've, broken it down between years, year 1, year 2, 3, 4, and 5, with 5-year totals. There were certain things that were asked of the bidders, such as weekly solid waste collection and then bi-weekly recycling collection. There were alt ads, if you will, if we wanted to go with a weekly recycling collection, but also adding on some of the current things that we have now, such as the cardboard containers over at the highway garage, repair and replacement of the trash carts, things of that nature. So if the companies responded to that, they are also included here. So at the top, you can see Waste Management with their all ads, base contract amount, and then there are notes, those specific notes, and trying to compare. We summarize some of those here as well. So the 4 companies that responded were Waste Management, Casella, our current Republic, and then G Mello responded as well. So when we look at the base contract amounts, there is a bit of a difference. Waste and Casella came in the $3.5 to $3.6 million range. Republic and G Mello were in excess of that and closer to $5 million. So this is why you have, as a board, have had some of this to take a look at, because there is a lot of information here, but here to discuss next steps.
Yeah, and I know this is something we want to try to act on, try to get it done before the end of this month.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
possible. Because I know, like, especially if we ended up with, like, waste management, for instance, there would be a fee associated because they'd have to order an additional truck. And then we'd have to incur that cost if that's what we went with.
Okay.
That's, so that's something, we got to think about. That's why, and we've had this for a while to look at. I know myself personally, when I look at it, there is quite a bit of difference just in the basic between two of them as opposed to the other two. Waste Management and Casella are considerably cheaper than G Mello and Republic. For the weekly pickup and the bi-weekly recycling. I don't think we have an issue, and correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, with the complaints about the bi-weekly recycling. So I don't think there's any need to change that to weekly.
No, I utilize the cardboard dumpsters over by the highway garage, and
Yeah, I think the cardboard dumpsters are well worth it.
And there are certain times that obviously around the holidays that those are full and overflowing, but I think for the most part, we seem to have found a reasonable solution.
Yeah, because I think by keeping those boxes of cardboard box bins over there available, then that really gets rid. We don't need that need for weekly. I think
the difference from going from
bi-weekly.
the difference they have from weekly to bi-weekly is almost $1 million. So
Right.
we can put some dumpsters over there, and that alleviates, and everyone's
Exactly.
happy.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that. And I think then the next thing I think we need to think about too is bulk pickup, because right now we have it weekly, one item. Is that something anyone feels that strongly about, weekly bulk pickup, one item? I know personally when I drive around, I don't see a lot of bulk out there weekly.
Right. I would say people put it out. I do know that sometimes people put stuff out
Sure.
weekly if they're trying to get rid of like a couch and ottomans, or table and chairs.
Right, but what I'm kind of getting at, instead of having that weekly, it would probably be less if we did it, say, every other week or once a month.
Yep. I would be more comfortable with like every other week, but if we are being cost conscious, then
Then that's what I think we have to be. And then
yeah.
the other thing is we look at the different proposals, having a transfer station that's available to the residents. If they have a lot of bulk, they could drive up there. I mean, it's tough to get rid of, I think, a bulk pickup. Because not everybody has that,
Right. And,
ability to take something up to a transfer station.
right. And the transfer station is up at Casala
Right, they have one,
in Raymond.
right.
So, and then this is the base, and then we get charged for the tonnage on top of that, or
How's that, Greg?
how does that work?
Well, I'm assuming, looking at it, my assumption is they would send a separate truck for, are you talking taking it to the?
I'm looking at the base, like, let's go with waste management. 3.6 million for the 5 years.
Correct.
So then they have, so that's the actual cost. We don't get charged tonnage for what we pick up.
No, we get charged.
Tonnage on top of that 3.6 million.
Does that total include an estimated tonnage over the 5 years?
Thank you.
No,
Okay, so that's just the base price.
base price.
So roughly, because I did a little math, just like the disposal tonnage, we average around 3,000 tons. So in like year one, it'd be 297, and at 5 year, it'd be 361.
297.
297,000.
$1,000.
Yep.
And by year 5, it's about 361,000.
And that's for the waste management one?
Yep.
How about the other ones?
Casella, year 1 was about 306K, and then by year 5 is 379.
Can you tell me what waste management numbers you had again?
Yeah.
Tonnage disposal was 297K for year 1, And then as we progress to year 5 at the 120 rate, it would be 361,000.
Okay. And does that include, that's just the waste? Did you?
That's just the waste. I didn't get fully to the recycling.
I know the recycling
was
tonnages are much
lower. It was
Much lower, but you're also factoring in these proposals. As a, for instance, Casella does a calculation based on the give and take of the recycling, the goods that, that they sell out versus what they bring in. So there is a formula. They call it a ACR formula that's in the books and the information.
was trying to figure that all out. And
Yeah,
haven't gotten fully through that one, but I was able to do it to the regular garbage.
So for me, it would be helpful if we did like that, the tonnage cost as well with the base price so that we can see all the like hardcore numbers, and knowing that that's kind of a, a pretty tight estimate.
Well, we have the disposable ton, right?
Right. I mean, the disposal, if you look at year 1 for waste, they're $99 a ton and Casella's $102. So it's only $3 a ton difference.
Right, but I guess I'm looking at it as, so we have $297,000
Year 1.
year 1. So year 2 would be a little more, year 3 it would be a little more.
Yep.
So then all 5 of those years added together, because I didn't get that far.
It'd be, if you just averaged it, it's probably around $300,000 a year.
A year.
So it'd be like another $1.5 million on top of the
1.5.
base price.
All right.
Something like that. And then I think the others you would see higher rates.
Yeah.
So you're probably looking at closer to,
G Mellow for year 1 was 375K for 3,000 tons. And year 5 would be 430.
And the other thing is there's a.
Yeah, so that's roughly.
Yeah.
Take into account too, if you have a transfer station and somebody brings their stuff up there.
It's not in that tonnage. Maybe our tonnage goes
Right,
down.
because whoever, when you drive up there, you'd have to pay the price.
And then just so it's noted, Republic, year 1 for the tonnage would be 309K, and then that goes up to 375 by year 5.
And they both, it kind of sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, everyone kind of agrees we should keep the containers there as the add-ons, right? The recycling containers for the cardboard.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's something we want.
John doesn't even have a recycling bin at home. He just goes over there.
just looking at the first 2, Waste Management and Kinsella, they're within, very close to what we're paying now. A little bit more than what we would pay on average a year. Like, what are we paying now?
Around
1
totals, yeah. The budget's around 989, I think, for 2026. So it's right around between 900 and $1 million.
The first 2 are
I
pretty.
think the rest of that is the lease on the carts, right?
Correct.
So we're looking at $980 a year. This will probably go up to about $1,050,000 or something, right?
So when do we have to get new carts?
No.
We can use what we have that we've already purchased.
Yes.
All right.
And plus there is something in here too for cart repair and replacement.
Right. That's why we added that, given the life of the cart. So, they're approaching 5 years old. So I don't know that the town wants to do another bulk purchase of $300,000 of carts, where that was the alt ad, is to transfer that maintenance and that responsibility over to the carrier.
And they just replace it as they get destroyed, ruined, or whatever they hit there.
Yes.
Was there much difference between, say, Waste Management and Casella? How they handle the recycling carts? I'm trying to figure that out.
It just said see notes for the cart replacement.
Yeah, I'm looking at the notes now. So I guess it really comes down to, or what I'm thinking, in my opinion, I think we should try to narrow it down to two. So we're looking at the two instead of the four. And in my mind right now, everyone has their own opinion. So I think I would go down between Waste Management and Casella.
I agree.
I think just looking at the prices, I think,
They're the two lowest up front.
right? And that's just, if anyone else has any other thoughts.
They're the lowest overall price, and then when you start to factor in the tonnage, they're still both the lowest.
Right. They're going to be lower than the other. That's
Yeah, I mean,
that's how I'm reading it.
I feel the same way.
Is there any way we can benefit from the recycling that's done? I didn't see anything in any of these bids for it.
That, I believe, is part of what is referred to under Casella with their ACR formula. That is part of the formula, if I'm not mistaken.
It's part of the formula to develop the per ton for the recycling.
Yes.
And I guess the one thing I do notice, like Casella under them, they do have a mattress recycling program. I don't know if Waste Management does. And would the resident pay for that, to have the mattress picked up? I guess that's a question we can ask. The resident pay to have the mattress picked up, and does Waste Management have a mattress recycling program?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
I do like that Casella it would be a 4-day week as opposed to a 5-day.
I agree, the 4-day, that way then when you get that holiday and Monday, everything is still getting picked up before Saturday.
Before Saturday, yeah.
Saturday's busy enough in town without adding trash trucks.
Agreed.
So as far as
They
resident complaints and calls, would they still call the town hall, or would they now call one of these vendors?
Well, I mean, in the notes, Waste Management said direct to residents provided via phone and online. So
does Casella.
I think
Customer service
it's
direct to
direct to
residents.
residents. So
They would handle all those calls, it looks like, which
Yeah, the only thing we'd want to see is the report on that, like every month,
right.
so we see what the complaints are.
Yep.
And then does Casella do the extra bag, like come in and buy the stickers if you have extra bags? Do you know? Because I know that comes in handy sometimes when you're having a big party.
And I'm not sure on that. That would be another one of those
Can
questions.
we? Yeah, that's a question.
Additional. Yep.
Yeah, so if we can get an answer to that on the mattresses.
The mattresses.
Did Waste Management have a bi-weekly bulk item offer in here? Do they have? The bulk collection looks like it's resident scheduled directly.
Yes.
Okay. But
It
Casella
says pick
offers
up
that.
at least once a month. It
Okay.
says.
Waste Management would be once a month.
Waste Management says pick up, it's $38 an item charged to the residents, $99 a ton charged to the town with pickup at least one time a month.
So I guess then it comes down to have the resident pay for it, or does it stay under the town?
So the resident would pay
Pay
for it.
I also like the fact that we're going to get the 2 30-yard roll containers, so we could use one for Old Home Day.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that's-
Republic has been donating that the last few years.
Yeah, I think that's a nice.
So Bill, are you proposing that we just draw the first two
I think so, yeah.
and meet with them, considering we're
I think that
1.5 mil off on the other two?
that's my opinion.
Yeah,
If
I
everyone
would
agree
agree.
with that.
The, what is it, the white goods? So, because Waste Management has a white goods option, we do have that available now for Republic. I didn't see anything. Maybe I missed it under Casella.
I think if they have that transfer station, that's where you would bring.
Yeah, but
That's a question we would need to ask.
that would be a question need to be asked, because
They
not
have white
everybody has the capability of hauling a refrigerator or a washing machine up there.
Correct.
And then here they have bulk collection options. They have a rate per hour. So if that sounds like they don't do like a weekly. If we were to-
Over to the right, it says collection 1 day a week or 1 day biweekly, estimated 12 hours weekly.
12 hours a week.
Oh, okay. Sorry, missed that.
Yeah, I
So
think that
it looks
could
like
easily
they
go
would
to
do the
bi-weekly.
bi-weekly they offer, and then we have.
I
the-
almost wonder, depending on which one you go to, would monthly even save a little bit more?
Yeah.
That would be 12 times a year. That's a lot.
Yep.
And then with the bulk item, would that just be one item or would people be able to put multiple? I mean, years ago when I first moved to town, it was like twice a year. I mean, that was like a collector's dream, right? You'd see people from out of state coming up there, right? If you remember that, everybody had put everything out they've been saving for 6 months.
Yep.
You know, you,
And that's still an option. If we wanted to.
Yeah,
do
so I would go with the first two.
Yeah, I think Cassell and Waste Management have the best
Yeah.
pricing.
And it's and they're very close to what
Very
we.
competitive. There's a lot of
currently have
flexibility
now.
in both that I think we can try to make the best decision for the town as to what makes the most
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
saves us the most money.
so I think, so the next step, do we want to have both of those vendors come in?
I would say yes and just ask questions, and if people have questions they want to send to us or come in and hear them.
Yeah, probably send them ahead of time, right? I mean, it's not going to be a meeting that's open, unfortunately.
Correct, but send us some questions that they have, and we're happy to
Right.
present them.
Yeah, so I think the next step, if we can have them come in for the next meeting.
I'm not sure if they can come in for next Monday night because the 19th is a holiday.
Are we meeting next Monday?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. You know what it is, after the holidays and driving out to Utah, it's like, I don't know what day is what.
I mean, I can try and see if they'll be available for next Monday night. If not, we'll do it the 26th.
26th, and then,
Then we got to make a decision.
yeah, then we'll make our decision. So I think it's basically come down to, and this gives us time, now that we know we're down to 2.
Yep.
We've got the packets, you know, to really go through. And even ahead of time, we could, you know, write down our questions. We could probably even submit them to both of them ahead of time so they have when they come in, just to help them out so they'll have the right answer. So when they come in here, they can't say, oh, I don't know, I got to ask.
Yep.
Yeah,
This way here, there'd be no excuse. They're not going to get blindsided by questions. Well,
Yep.
granted, additional ones could come up. So
Agreed.
we're all in agreement there?
yes.
Yeah, I like Waste Management and Casella as well.
You good? Yeah, and I know they're both reputable companies too.
Yeah. I know, Waste Management we've had in the past.
Did we?
And then Casella, they're pretty local, so they're next door in Atkinson and a couple other towns close by as well, so.
Just for the record, I think they're all reputable companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I agree. So what I'm saying is if we're going through those two, it's not like those two are companies no one's ever heard of. All right, so see if we can get them into the next meeting.
All right.
I like the idea of pushing it off for 2 so that we can send in some writing so that that meeting is
Productive.
Thank you, Greg.
Welcome. So next up, we have budgets and warrant review. I think the budgets have already been through the budget committee, right?
Yeah, so the
They've done all of
budget committee finished their review. They did vote on the final number for the operating budget warrant article, and it was 530. And the total operating budget that was recommended was 14,103,949.
And what's the default?
Great, do you have this to put up?
What's up?
Do we have this? Right here.
It's in the folders.
You got it.
I got it. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
A little slow.
Bottom right.
Okay, got it.
took the usual based on RSA and the like, with the determination of the default budget. And that's what's in front, was in your packet, but we're looking at a default budget of $13,929,786, which is approximately $174,000 less than the proposed. And there's a comparative statement that's in your folders, and if anybody wants to look at it line by line with determination, you're free to take the printout here and go through it. But compared, obviously, current to the prior year based on removal of one-time items, and with CBAs and contracts, we make adjustments for those. There's debt payments that are adjusted as well. So it's not a straightforward, just take last year's.
No, thank you for the sheet. It's a good summary. And 174 is pretty close with the budget, with that budget.
Actually, the human resources goes up about 10,000.
Right.
I don't recall what there was, either training or some other things that we had cut down that's not subject to, but when you default to the prior year, you take, what ends up happening is when you make cuts in other areas to absorb some of the personnel costs or the salaries, you get, with the default, you end up not realizing those cuts, if you will.
Anybody have any questions? And the default is kind of the default.
Pretty snug, 174,000.
Yeah,
Right.
it's tight.
Do you need like a motion from us or?
Well, I mean, if the board is, yes, I would say a motion, and what I will do is I'll go into the DRA portal tomorrow and finish up the paperwork on that and get that filed. So
To get their approval.
now that we have a final, pretty much a final warrant, I'll start preparing, that side
Okay.
with DRA through the portal.
Anybody else have any questions on the default?
No.
If someone wants to make a motion so we can.
I guess with the default, what does that do to our operation? So if the default passes, it's 170,000 less than what we're asking for, right? So where do you anticipate that 170,000 impacting?
We'll cross that bridge, I guess, in a given year, we've either through vacancies or through other, cost-cutting measures. Sometimes it'll depend on, what kind of year you're having, like with the winter weather. Some years you may say that, you could make out. This year we have to find, extra, considering, what's happened with the winter weather and salt purchases. So we can delay, hiring if, police or fire, end up with vacancies, we would have to make decisions, from that standpoint.
So could be a little here, a little there, probably is what it would be.
Yeah.
So it could affect, like you said, hiring, say fire, highway, police, or town hall, or wherever.
Just as a for instance, yeah.
So even if that were voted in, it's still $600,000 increase over last year for the default. Okay.
Yep.
Excuse me.
All right. Anything else?
Do you want to vote on the
default? So
on the
so
operating budget warrant article, or do you want to wait and do that?
what would you prefer? You want to do the whole operating budget? We could do that, then you can go to DRA with everything, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because we need to do that before the public hearing,
Right.
correct?
So I'll make a motion to recommend Article P 2602, operating budget general fund, in the amount of $14,103,949, with a default of $13,929,786.
I'll second it.
Second by Tyler. All those in favor?
Aye.
So it's 500. And we didn't have any, next on the agenda was consideration of new warrant articles. You don't have any, correct?
No.
And we have sets of non-public minutes to approve.
Sorry, I just
Oh, go ahead.
wanted to say, we did go through all the warrant articles at the last budget meeting.
Okay.
And they did vote and recommend all of them, except for the mowing and upkeep.
Which is kind of like what we did.
Yeah, similar to what we did. The question was, why even bother putting it on the warrant? But,
I mean, everybody made their feelings known, right, on both committees.
so.
And I do know from emails I've gotten, and I know Greg gets emails, everybody complains when it gets too high.
Mm-hmm.
So this way here it's addressed and, and maybe, who knows what the town feels. Give them a say. Give everyone a say. All right, we'll address the first one first, from December 22nd, session 1.
I'll make a motion to approve the December 22nd, 2025 session, non-public session 1 minutes. We can unseal those, right?
I don't see a problem with it.
To unseal them.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
By Liz, all those in favor?
Aye.
So it's 500. Now we also had session 2.
Make a motion to approve the December 22nd, 2025 non-public session 2 minutes and to keep those sealed.
I'll second that.
Second by Tyler. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So it's 500. All right. Next up, we need to approve the consent agenda. And what we have on there is the accounts payable manifest for December 29th, 2025 and January 5th, 2026. There are 2. The BOS draft minutes of 12/22/2025, waterline suppression tax warrant 2025, and the health officer nomination form. Someone wants to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda items for January 5th, 2026.
Second.
Second by John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So it's 500. Next up, town managers report. Greg? besides drinking eggnog, what do you got for us?
My son drinks the eggnog, I don't, so. Been a busy couple of weeks. We're trying to get the end of the year closed out, quite honestly, and preparing budgets and the like. Had as a follow-up with the police department, had a second meeting. 2 members of Troop G, the Commercial Enforcement Division, came down, met with myself, the police chief, the lieutenant, and also Executive Counselor Stevens. And we are scheduled in the month of January to have 8 to 10 commercial enforcement state police come down, flood the area, and go from there. They'll be setting up a weigh station over at the highway garage, complete with scales and the whole 9 yards. So as we, start to finalize that, I will let the board know, but it was a very good, very productive meeting, and they said that they would be glad to come back again in the spring, again in the summer, again in the fall. They're excited to work with our police officers on both an education standpoint, because they say, in the academy, they don't do a lot of teaching of the commercial type stuff. So I think the chief and the lieutenant were very excited about it, and I think they were as well. So I think it will be a good joint effort.
So what will they do? Route the trucks off of 125 to the highway garage?
Wherever they go.
Wherever they go.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the logistics.
They
are.
will. We are going to provide them with maps and the like, but they will also enforce local ordinances. So if we have a no-through trucking, road and the like, they will park themselves, in a place to be able to observe, and they'll go from there. They said there's 3 levels of stops that they can do. So between, level 1, level 2, level 3, and there are some that they like to.
That's great.
They hit the most detailed level, and they said the one officer could be tied up for 2 to 4 hours with crawling under it and doing a safety check on the components, the whole 9 yards.
And they'd be willing to do that several times a year?
Yes.
That's definitely good news. That's definitely a step in the right direction.
Good. That was good.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was a learning experience, so
I'm sure.
be glad to to see when they come into town. So I think it's good.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And also heard from Department of Transportation and the Safety Division. So working with Corey again on identifying stop signs and things of that nature. So we did hear from them as well.
So it's any feedback?
Not yet, but it's an ongoing conversation, so that's good.
Yeah, no, it'd be nice in the spring to have them put up in several spots, especially on Main Street. That would definitely help.
I'm glad that's a continued conversation.
Yep, absolutely.
And we had a new recreation director. She started today, so
Yay.
All right.
so we are back in the swing with that. As you and Tyler, thank you for all the work that you guys have done as well. So
Appreciate it. Also,
I think she's going to be a really good fit.
we brought back Holly too to help out a little bit,
yes,
which is good to see that we have somebody on board.
Yes.
Look forward to meeting her. I mean, that department does an awful lot, a lot of activities for the town, from the kids all the way up through the seniors.
She was already starting to look at stuff for her February vacation today, and it was only her first day.
Yeah, nice, good, perfect, perfect. Good, Greg.
yep. I would say it's a little different coming in today without 2 long-term employees, with both Dee and Beth not being in today.
I said
So
the same thing when I pulled in, and the 2 cars were missing. I never get to park this close.
So it's an adjustment on our side, but we will get there. With communication and the like, make sure, things get done as quickly as we can. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Greg. And Selectmen's reports, John?
Let's see, tomorrow night I have Old Home Day that I'm gonna have a meeting at 6:30 and get that up and moving forward. I know that we lost one of our members, and so we'll have to shuffle some weight around. Always sad to see a member step away, but personal things get in the way of things sometimes.
Yep. And as always, they'll always take volunteers too, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're interested, the meetings,
6:30 tomorrow at the Historical Society. Hop on over. I've got, I had begged away from Concom, but I'm gonna change my schedule around on Thursday and hit Concom because I haven't really, because of Jill's illnesses and everything else that's been going on, we haven't had a lot of meetings. So I felt it was pertinent to get over to that one. Other things, that's what I got coming up.
all right, thanks. I know it's a couple of weeks with not much going on with meetings. Tyler?
Obviously, we had the new rec director start today. From what I heard from her at the end of the day, she had a great first day, was already hitting the ground running. So, sounds very good and promising. The part-time rec director we have right now, Carly, said, I think you really found a good one here. This is going to work. So, good to hear that. We have a rec commission meeting next Wednesday night, 6:30 at the Norman Major Building. Also have another budget committee meeting next Tuesday night here. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Did want to mention the ski club is starting this week. Through Pollard, the bus will be picking up their equipment, the Norm Major Building, picking up the kids at Pollard, bringing them back to the Norm Major Building at night. This will be the first week, so.
Perfect. It's good to see that program come back.
Yep.
It was always a good program.
Thank you for spearheading that.
Yes, yes.
Liz?
Energy Committee Wednesday night at 5 o'clock here, and Planning
This is
Board
my
6:30 here.
There you go. Thank you, Liz.
I think that's it.
Jay?
I had budget committee last week. Couple things came up with that. They asked when the audit would be ready, and I did reach out to Greg. He said was delayed due to some vacation time from the auditing company and resources and whatever. So we should have that in the next couple weeks, right?
I'm hopeful.
Yeah. Also, one of the suggestions that came up was showing the tax impact for each warrant article. So Greg has given me some preliminary numbers that we can plug in. So I'm going to work on the voter's guide and plug those numbers in there, and hopefully have a draft for us to look at for next Monday. So it's just a little more, so people understand a little better how it's going to impact them if they vote for it or not.
Yep. No, perfect.
And we don't have a budget meeting until next Tuesday, the 13th, which is the public hearing for the budget. So we'll probably be finalizing any final things prior to opening the public hearing, but then the public hearing will be opened and presented, and then after that, it will be closed and on to the budget, the deliberative session. So.
And deliberatives January 31st, is that right?
Yes.
January
Greg,
31st.
January
or the
31st.
February
January
1st. Deliberative.
For some reason I thought I said January 31st.
It was 9
I
a.m.
think you're right. I just,
Because I remember January caught me off guard.
yeah, it's
Yes,
the
it is.
31st. So that will be here at Town Hall, 9 a.m.
Correct.
Yeah, hopefully we get a good turnout.
I think we might. We'll probably get some participation.
Good. As it should be.
That's all I have.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't have much, with the holidays and my journey out driving to Utah. So I was busy with that. But what I have coming up this week, Old Home Day tomorrow night, and Planning Board on Wednesday night.
I do have one other thing in reference to Conservation Committee. There is now a sign up at the town forest, and Per order of the selectmen, the town forest is closed from sunset to sunrise, and there is no overnight camping at the town forest. Just so that everybody's aware of that, and now the sign is posted, so.
Okay, perfect. Did anybody have anything that they wanted to bring up? I did want to go into a non-public to finalize one thing. Hopefully it won't take too long.
Okay.
So what do we need? Make a motion to go into non-public? I would say it's probably under A. And so I'll make a motion to enter into non-public under RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2A.
Second.
And we will not be coming back from non-public. So,
Oh, I'm supposed to close that.
yes,
Selectman Coy,
yes.
Vice Chair DeRoche,
Yes.
Selectwoman Costa,
Yes.
Selectman Shorman,
Yes.
and Selectman Gifford.
Yes.
All right, so we'll close the public meeting at 7 o'clock. And have a good week, everyone. We'll see you back here next week. Thank you. Bye.